Welcome inside the Play MGM studio. All right, Official Jets Podcast, Week 2. You can listen to us on NewYorkJets.com, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud. Be sure to leave us a review. Very special guest today, Le'Veon Bell. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We know you're good at football. We know you love rap. You love football. What fans don't know about you, but we know about you now, you're a dog lover.
Love dogs.
And you have 13 of them.
13.
And they're all in Ohio.
They're all in Ohio right now. Yes.
Right now, okay. So where did the love of dogs start?
For me?
Yeah. For you, yeah.
Probably when I was about 4. I remember we had this dog. His name was Lucky, and my mom had him. And he was our first dog, or my first dog that I seen when I was alive. And I just love Lucky. He's just, you know what I'm saying, just play around. And that's why I started loving dogs, really, when I was like 4 years old. Just.
What kind of dog was Lucky?
Lucky was a golden retriever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a
that's
retriever.
A good first dog.
So, yeah, I used to love him so much because he literally was so good at running with the football. Right? So he had we had this little Nerf ball.
So you were chasing him, I imagine.
I used to chase him. I tried to chase him. And nobody, me and my little cousins, little brothers, as we got older, when Lucky got older, we used to put him in the yard. He had a ball. Nobody can touch him. He wouldn't let, and he took pride in it. He would tuck his butt and everything. Like he wouldn't let nobody touch him.
This sounds like Air Bud to me, like the movies.
For real, he was our first Air Bud. That's what he was. He was like
the
our first Air Bud. Yeah,
right.
He wasn't just all purpose. He ain't play basketball and baseball.
Okay,
he was strictly football.
So Le'Veon, it starts with Lucky, but now you, as an adult, a grown man, 13 dogs.
13.
Why the number? Why do you keep on just going?
To be honest, it's probably because I'll walk into PetSmart or something trying to grab some dog food, and then I'll see a dog like, oh, what this dog's so cute. You know what I'm saying? That's literally how it starts. Like, and then our Rots had puppies, so then that's how I kind of got started. Then we sold all the puppies and we kept one.
Right.
And then I don't know. That's how I started for real.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how everyone wants to just keep collecting. Like for me, when I go to the grocery store, I'm like, I know I want this. Like for you, like you need dog food. I know I need chicken or whatever. And then
you see something you like.
Yeah, I'm like,
I'm gonna go grab that.
Yeah, I've never had that. I want.
That's how it was.
And how do you go about the names? You don't have to go through all 13 right now, otherwise our podcast will be over.
Man, it was for real.
But how do you go about the selection of the names?
So at first we wanted to start with all B's.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So my mom had a dog. His name was Z. He just passed away. But he was our oldest dog. He was 17. I had him in 6th grade. But Z, right? So Z was our first dog. And then after Z, I got Beautiful. And I wanted to start at all B's.
Okay.
Right? So that's how I got started. And then B's and B's and B's kept going, B's and B's. And then I couldn't think of no more B names.
You ran through the gamut. You had to start something else, huh?
I can imagine Le'Veon like looking in the dictionary, like, okay, maybe that.
So then it started. Then we got a German Shepherd. Her name is Lady, right? So then we wanted to have her and our other dog Sir. We got Sir to mate with her, whatever.
Okay.
So we just thought of like Lady and Sir. Like that's how I was gonna start. Like Lady, Sir. Then
very classy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Lady and Sir.
Right.
I love it, man.
Yeah, it's just crazy how I don't know how I would start coming up to it. Then one of our dogs' name, I would give you interesting dog names. So then we got a dog named Five, right? Mm-hmm. Do y'all know why her name is Five?
No.
You have any idea?
Wait. I don't want to be wrong and guess wrong.
Just guess.
No, I don't want to guess.
All right, so she literally was the 5th puppy, like in her litter. So that's why I named her Five.
Oh,
okay.
It was just literally that, like, her name.
Yeah,
Five.
I was way off.
Cause I was way off. But
I was gonna take a guess.
I literally couldn't even think of at the time of name for, because I wanted to fit her because she was the smallest dog in the litter too, and I just fell in love with her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, she was like, I was like, all right, we're gonna name her Five. That's what it was. It just stuck to her. It just stuck.
So, But it's got to be tough for you up here in New Jersey, and you don't have any dog around right now, right?
Well, it's terrible. It's terrible. When I go home, I be by myself. I don't even play the game or write music or something. Like, usually I go home, I see Beautiful. She just going crazy. You know what I'm saying?
So excited to see you.
Yeah, no matter what, she always happy to see me no matter what. I can, dogs, you can lock them away in the kennel. They can be locked up all day. So you let them out the kennel. Oh my goodness, you let me out the kennel. I'm so happy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
You mean your Xbox doesn't treat you the same when you
never,
walk in? Yeah.
Never. Xbox, girlfriends, moms, sisters, none of them. None of them treat me like I'm a dog.
So listen, I share this with you. I got my Reggie at home, and he is everything. You know, no matter what happens during the day, they're always excited to see you. Unconditional love, man. And that's what it's all about. When you're not writing music, what music are you listening to?
Ooh. So I listen to, I mean, I got a lot of variety, right? But my go-tos lately been like Drake, Young Thug, Gunna, T Grizzly. I like T Grizzly a lot. Travis Scott, Lil Uzi. There's a lot of people I listen to. Now I'm thinking about. I'm just here naming people, but you know, it's like literally every day. It's like, you know, I like Lil Keed. It's a variety of music I listen to, but you know, I mean, if you want to talk about me, like, it depends on the mood. So
Sure.
If I'm going out there, get ready for a football game, I might listen to something different rather than when I'm just riding in the car, just about to drive home, and I know I got to drive for 30 minutes.
So, but like season opener before the Buffalo Bills, what were you listening to?
T Grizzly.
Okay.
T Grizzly. Pray for this drip. That's my song.
Well, what if I asked you who you'd want to collab with, like whether it be a current artist, someone you listen to growing up, who's somebody that you really want to do something with?
I mean, I really wanted to. I wanted to do something big with Lil Durk, and I made that happen. You know, Durk was, he worked with me, and he's like one of the, you know, most humble people I've ever met in my life. Because it's crazy, you get a lot of fame and a lot of, you know, people who draw attention to you. It's easy to kind of go in the shell a little bit, but Lil Durk was a guy. He was just open minded, and he worked with an athlete, you know, and that was like huge for me. That song will be dropping pretty soon. And Drake is another one. You know, I want to work with Drake. And a girl, there's like a girl I want to work with too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, her name is Meg Thee Stallion.
Okay.
Yeah, she good too.
Yeah, you're smirking like, yeah, like people don't know yet, but they will.
Yeah, they will. Because I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen in some type of way. I'm gonna make it happen.
So does Le'Veon Bell sleep? Because I asked Jamal Adams that as well. Because seriously, because anybody who gets an opportunity to meet you, your energy, bro, you're bringing it
every time.
You're bringing it on the field. You're bringing it on the practice field. You're bringing it when you go home and you write music.
Mm-hmm. All the time.
Do you sleep?
I do sleep. Actually, it was hard for me to sleep Saturday night. Yeah. I went to sleep. I went to bed at like, I probably fell asleep. I laid down at like 11 o'clock. And I probably went to sleep probably like 11:30. And I woke up at like 5 a.m. because I was so ready for the game.
You were ready to roll.
I woke up at like 5 a.m. Isn't that unbelievable though? Like I literally couldn't sleep. It felt like I was getting ready for Christmas.
I was gonna say that. That was gonna be my analogy. Yeah,
that's exactly what it was. It's like, all right, I'm just up, so I'm just sitting there, just trying to watch highlights and like just get
watch highlights.
Yeah, I was watching highlights.
Were you watching highlights of yourself?
Honestly, no. I watched highlights of myself the night before, but that morning, no, I didn't. I didn't watch highlights of myself, so I watched Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, I watched Saquon Barkley. I watched Barry Sanders, and I watched LaDainian Thompson.
And are you on YouTube doing this?
Yeah, I was on YouTube.
Just like one of us.
Yep.
Because you're all over YouTube right now. Why don't you tell people what you're doing on your page?
Oh, with the music or the video?
With everything on YouTube.
I mean, on YouTube, everything.
You're blowing up.
Yeah, everything. Like, we got the mic'd up. The mic'd up thing was huge.
Yeah.
Because I don't think people really get a sense of how I am off the field.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? People kind of see me playing football and they're like, oh, he's a good football player and this, that, and the other. They hear about me in the media, you know, but people don't really know my personality, like, just on a daily basis. You know, and I think I'm going to use my YouTube to kind of show people, like, oh, yeah, this is me, like Le'Veon Bell, the person, you know, not just a football player.
Yeah, and it's interesting, the guys that you took a watch at prior to your first game with the Jets. Barry Sanders, he was always your guy, right?
Yeah, that was my favorite running back.
Yeah, and I know you loved Curtis Martin growing up, but what stood out to you about Barry?
Barry, he's a lot of people don't really understand, but it was his patience, right? It was like this draw play they was running with the Detroit Lions. I have no idea how they were running it, but it was like the quarterback would drop back. Barry Sanders would literally just wait back there. They'll hand him the ball. Then it's like he can pick either way to go. And I feel like he just was never wrong, like on that draw play. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he had the most yards lost in his career, right? But he was literally losing the yards to try to gain yards.
Yeah,
that's
to
like
gain 75 the next play.
That's literally what it was. So it was like I respect that. Like he was going for the jugular every time, but he's like literally my favorite runner. You know, and just by the he had patience. The change of direction is unbelievable. I don't even know how he was doing it, and his balance. His balance and his vision was really I think underrated. You know. But that's what really made him who he was, his balanced vision. And obviously, everybody knows about his change direction. And Barry Sanders really wasn't like the fastest guy, but he was fast enough to get,
right,
to break a long run. But he wasn't really the fastest guy. He didn't really depend on his speed. He depended on his change of direction and his vision and his patience.
Man, we talked about this before, but I go back and speaking about highlights, I look at you at Michigan State and I say, well, that's a big bruising back. He's about 6'2", 245, maybe
right.
250.
Right.
You're a totally transformed man. And every time I see you on the football field now, as we saw against the Buffalo Bills in the season opener, you're so explosive. When you look back at your metamorphosis as far as wherever you come from.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So we on Friday, we was in the team meeting, or not in the running backs room, in a meeting, and we was watching my Michigan State highlights, and all the running backs like, bro, that's you. You were so big. I was like, bro, I know, like, but it's crazy because my running style was the same. It's just I was a lot slower, and I was stronger. Like I was obviously stronger because I was bigger.
Right.
So
D'Antonio had you in the weight room.
Yeah,
you were just crushing. But you were probably heavy squat, heavy bench
every time. And it was just crazy because like when I look at it, it's like I was still had the moves. I was still spinning and
jumping over people like at Boise State.
Right.
The breakout game.
I was still doing all that. It was just now I'm a lot more explosive. Now I'm a lot quicker, and I think just over the course of my career, from my junior year to my rookie year to my second year in the league, right? I just understood like, oh yeah, I can be a better player if I just make me be a little quicker, a little more explosive. Not to have to depend on just if it's a 5 I run, but I could have been 15. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the difference. Because you want to be explosive in this game, right? Everybody's not really looking for the big bruising back no more. And I understood that. I knew I could catch passes out of the backfield. I could run routes. But I knew people weren't really going to look at me like that if I was 240. You know what I'm saying? I knew I had to get down to 215, 220.
Your story is unbelievable. It's unbelievable as far as the trajectory. You were a 2-star recruit coming out of high school.
I was.
You carry that chip to this day?
I do. Just because of the fact that I know where I came from, and I know, a lot of people doubted me. I just remember in high school just walking around the hallways, and I was, my close friends that I was talking to, they knew what my goal was and my dream was to go to the NFL and stuff, but I don't think a lot of people really believed it, or believed I could do it. Even, my high school coaches, you had a couple of them who maybe knew I could do it or whatever, but it just like, I remember the only person who was really always in my corner was my mom. Like my mom was making sure like any camp that I wanted to go to, like if I wanted to go to Penn State camp or like Akron camp or Ohio camp or whatever, she made sure she saved up enough money, so we can travel and go to the camp, and I can kind of showcase my talent and try to get a scholarship. My mom was like in my corner the whole time pushing me.
She still is. She means everything to you, doesn't she?
Everything, like literally everything.
Because she was here when you signed.
Yeah, she was here. Yep, she was here when I signed. Yep, when I signed, like she gonna be right there the whole time, like the whole time.
Is it true that Ohio State and West Virginia recruited you to play safety?
Yes.
Wow.
Well,
Could you imagine?
West Virginia and Michigan was.
Okay.
Ohio State, they were recruiting me for like both sides.
Yeah,
both sides. They was going to give me the opportunity at running back, but I didn't get an offer from none of those schools. Like no scholarship offer from none of those schools.
Do you remind Jamal Adams that they were coming after you to play safety?
Nah. Jamal ain't got to worry about that. Jamal ain't got to worry about that. I did not want to play safety.
Do you ever think about, like, for someone that's so go, you always bring the energy, you have so many things to do, whether it be music, video games, whatever it is. Do you ever take a second and think from even what EA was talking about, even when you were 245 or a high school kid, 2-star, you ever take a second to think about like where you are now and how different that is, even though it was probably just a couple years ago?
I do, and I mean, it was more than a couple years ago.
Right, but
you're still a young guy.
No, it's one of those things where like it feels like yesterday, but it also feels like forever ago.
Yeah, it definitely flew by. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like sometimes it'll take like me watching, like on Friday, me watching the Michigan State highlight, and then I'll think about like, dang, that is crazy. I was 240, and then I had to really transform my body. I had to go on this diet, and ever since I went on that diet, from my junior year, going into my training, going into my rookie year, ever since I started that diet, it changed my life because it's like that's my lifestyle now. Like I eat totally different now,
Yeah.
So it's just crazy how like just for me, like trying to change my mindset from my junior year going to the NFL, from my rookie year, my whole mindset has changed on the way I eat or what I eat or what I drink and put in my body, and it made me literally who a person I am today, and I'm glad that it happened. When it happened, I was a 20-year-old kid when I made that decision.
Right.
Now I'm sitting here, I'm 27, and it made me a person I am today.
Did you feel like you were back home again when you put the pads on? You came out of that tunnel. You got the ovation. You got 23 touches. I like the fact that you got 23 touches. I think some of the great athletes we've ever seen, and for me, it was always Michael Jordan. And we talked about MJ last week. Kind of hurt when MJ went away from the game for a little bit and we didn't see him. But when he came back, that was something else. And you were back where you were meant to be on the field.
And it felt good, because I just remember waking up on that day, waking up yesterday and just getting on like my normal my phone like a normal day, just looking at all the text messages I had, going on Twitter, Instagram. It's like so many people were just ready for that day, and it felt amazing to me. I remember just when I'm in the warm-ups, I'm just thinking like, man, we almost there, and I'm just trying to stay calm. Like I'm like trying to stay calm, but it's like everything in me is like, bro, can we just play football already? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was just so ready to play because it was been a long time coming, So I had to sit out all the preseason games and be out there with my guys and root them on and stuff. So it just felt good to be out there with them, and obviously not the outcome we wanted,
sure,
but we wanted to make sure. I made sure that like I'm glad that I got out of the game healthy, and I was actually able to play the game again, and I had fun doing it. That game was fun. It was a rivalry game. Guys out there having fun, and we gonna get back to the drawing board and get everything right. But I'm just glad that I'm actually back in the midst of things, getting my body. When I woke up this morning, I was happy. I was sore.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, my neck hurt. Oh, I'm back. Like, I'm back. You know what I'm saying? So,
was there a favorite play? I mean, the touchdown catch, obviously, you get back in the end zone, and that was a beautiful grab. But you had a couple runs out there, including 4th and 1,
that's what I was
where
going to bring up.
Gave your team a chance to still gain victory.
My favorite run. My favorite run was probably.
How about backed up?
Yeah, I mean, those like one of my favorite runs. My favorite play.
Yeah.
It was like a 3rd and 7 or something, and we threw it to Crowder, but I had a blitz pickup.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And dude tried to bull rush me, and I smacked him so hard. Like, that was my favorite play because it's like people must have forgot that this is what I take pride in. Like, I take pride in, blocking, like blitz pickup and people trying to bull rush me. I'm like, no, that's not happening.
Yeah,
you're not about to do that.
And you got praised for it on Hard Knocks by Coach Gruden of the Raiders. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's something I literally like. More than like a 10-yard run, I take way more pride in like picking up a blitz, especially like a good rusher or something, and blocking them, because that's literally like me versus you. You know what I'm saying? Like if I get a good run, I mean it takes my read and stuff, but I gotta depend on everybody up front. I gotta make sure Sam put me in the right play. The guys on the outside gotta do their jobs. You know what I'm saying? It's like a collective thing. It's like a good run that goes. But when it comes to blitz pickup, and I know it's me versus one guy, it's me versus you. And I win that's pride, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of guys don't really take that, or that prideful about their blitz pickup, and that's what I think separates me from a lot of running backs because I'm not letting my quarterback get hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to let it happen.
You have an infectious personality. Your teammates have gravitated towards you. I think you got miscast maybe because of people's misconceptions of what happened in Pittsburgh.
Right.
You have a lot of love for a number of things, but make no mistake, you love playing football.
I love football.
Anybody who goes out there and watches you at practice, you don't even have to be out there on game day. You love the game,
I love it.
and you're off to a good start. I know you guys didn't get the outcome you wanted, but you look like the vintage Le'Veon Bell, and I think good things are ahead.
I agree. I just want to know one thing before we wrap up. The defense got called out individually this past game, like when in player introductions. If the offense does it and it's you, where's your hype level there?
Through the roof.
Yeah, I figured.
Like, undescribable. I think maybe that's why the defense got introduced first, because they know this Monday night game. I want to get introduced.
Oh, okay. All right.
2-6. Thanks for coming in.
All
man.
right, that's all we have. The Official Jets podcast. Leave us a review. Apple Podcast, NewYorkJets.com, SoundCloud. Big thanks to Le'Veon Bell. And that's all we got for this week. We'll see you next time.